Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Mystery Channel. Tonight, we turn our attention towards Area 51, the desert base that became one of the most famous mysteries on Earth. For decades, it sat behind layers of secrecy, while strange stories began to emerge. Some people say it was just an aircraft base, but others think it was something far stranger. Either way, we are left with the same uneasy question. What was hidden there that needed so much silence? This is a place where official history feels incomplete and where many questions remain unanswered. The truth may be human, but it might also be something else. Or it might be something so far beyond our comprehension that it can't even be named. If you enjoy these curious journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is settle in. Let your shoulders soften. Allow your breathing to slow. And as the day begins to gently fade away, join me as we explore the mysteries of Area 51 together. Let's begin. The base at Area 51 turned an empty desert into America's greatest mystery. In the beginning, the place did not look like a legend. It was a remote stretch of Nevada desert, with a dry lake bed, distant mountains, and very little reason for ordinary people to go there. That was exactly the point. The emptiness made it useful. Aircraft could be tested far from cities. Accidents could be contained. Mistakes could disappear before they reached the evening news. Over time, the silence around the site became more powerful than any announcement could have been. People did not just wonder what was happening there. They wondered why so much effort was being spent to keep them from knowing. That is where the fascination begins. A hidden base is interesting. A hidden base that becomes world famous because nobody will clearly explain. It becomes something much larger. It becomes a symbol of forbidden knowledge, sealed doors, and the uneasy feeling that reality may have a private side. The government denied the base while aircraft crossed the sky above it. For years, the strangest part was not simply that secret machines were being tested. It was that the place itself seemed to exist in a strange, official shadow. People could point toward the Nevada desert. Pilots could describe restricted zones. Workers could be flown in and out. Yet the language around the base remained carefully limited, as though naming it too clearly might admit too much. That gap created a perfect space for suspicion. When citizens can see evidence of something, but authorities refuse to discuss it plainly, imagination does not stay empty. It fills the silence with possibilities. Some of those possibilities involved spy planes. Others moved far beyond human engineering. The deeper point is that secrecy changed the public mood. It made ordinary observation feel like trespassing. It made official caution feel like concealment. And it turned a military testing site into a mystery people felt they had personally been challenged to solve. Groom. Lake became famous because silence made every rumor feel possible. A secret can stay small when nobody cares about it. But this one grew because every unanswered detail seemed to invite another story. The dry lake, the guarded roads, the strange lights, and the careful language all fed a single question. What was worth hiding so completely? Once that question entered public culture, the mystery began to multiply. A blurry photograph became a clue. A distant sound became evidence. A worker's silence became more interesting than a confession. This is why the legend proved so durable. It did not need constant proof to survive. It only needed enough mystery to keep doubt alive. Some people saw a military site doing classified work. Others imagined recovered craft, hidden laboratories, or technology far ahead of public science. The silence did not confirm those ideas. It gave them room to breathe. And in the desert, that room felt almost endless. Bob Lazar changed Area 51 folklore with one extraordinary claim. Before his story reached the wider public, the base was already intriguing. Afterward, it became something else entirely. Lazar claimed he had worked near the site on technology that was not merely advanced, but non-human. Whether someone believes him or not, his account altered the shape of the legend. It gave the mystery characters, locations, procedures, and a sense of insider detail. Suddenly, the public imagination had a narrative it could hold on to. There was a claimed workplace beyond the main base. There were strange proportion ideas. There were craft described as if they had been studied up close. Critics pointed to inconsistencies and missing proof. Supporters argued that missing proof is exactly what deep secrecy would produce. That tension is why the story never fully goes away. It sits between testimony and myth, between confession and performance, between impossible memory and the chilling possibility that someone once stepped too close to the truth. The black mailbox became a pilgrimage site for believers and skeptics. It was only a mailbox on a lonely desert road, yet people treated it like a marker at the edge of a forbidden kingdom. Travelers stopped there because the base itself remained out of reach. They left stickers, messages, photographs, and stories. Some came hoping to see unusual lights. Others came because they wanted to stand where the legend felt physically present. The object became famous not because it contained secrets, but because it sat near the imagined border between ordinary America and whatever might lie beyond it. That is how powerful the Area 51 story became. Even a plain roadside feature could gather meaning from proximity alone. Believers saw it as part of a living mystery. Skeptics saw it as proof that folklore can attach itself to almost anything. Either way, the mailbox became a strange little altar to curiosity, built by visitors who wanted the unknown to feel close. Janet flights quietly carried workers into a world nobody could describe. At airports near Las Vegas, unmarked or lightly marked aircraft became part of the legend. People noticed the routine. Crews and passengers boarded flights connected to places most travelers could not visit. The planes were not shaped like flying saucers. They looked ordinary, which somehow made them more interesting. Their mystery came from purpose. Where were the passengers going? What did they know? What were they forbidden to say when they returned home? For some observers, the flight suggested nothing more exotic than classified transportation for defense employees. For others, they hinted at a whole hidden workplace operating beside normal American life. A person could sit near a window, watch one of those aircraft depart, and feel that a curtain had briefly moved. The route was visible. The destination was not. That contrast made the flights fascinating, because they proved that secrecy does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it wears a timetable. Tikabo Peak offered civilians one forbidden glimpse across the desert. For people determined to see the base with their own eyes, this remote viewpoint became almost legendary. Reaching it was not casual. The trip required effort, planning, and a willingness to stare across a vast distance at a place built to avoid attention. Through powerful lenses, visitors could make out shapes on the horizon. They saw buildings, runways, and faint signs of activity. Yet even that glimpse created more questions than answers. Seeing the surface did not reveal the purpose. A hangar remains silent at any distance. A road does not explain what it carries. That is what makes the viewpoint so compelling. It offers enough to confirm that the place is real, but not enough to satisfy the hunger behind the journey. Some people went home feeling they had touched the edge of history. Others felt the mystery had become larger because the visible base looked like only the first layer. The Roswell legend kept pointing back toward Nevada's hidden hangars. The famous New Mexico incident happened far from Groom Lake, but the two stories became linked in the public imagination. Once people began asking where recovered debris or unusual craft might be taken, a secluded test site in Nevada felt like a natural answer. The connection was not built on clear public proof. It was built on narrative gravity. One place had the crash legend. The other had the secrecy, the guards, the aircraft, and the silence. Together, they formed a larger map of suspicion. Some people imagined that materials were moved from one hidden program to another. Others believe the association came later, shaped by books, interviews, and late-night television. Either explanation is interesting. The link shows how separate mysteries can begin orbiting each other when the official record feels incomplete. Roswell gave the myth a beginning. Area 51 gave it a locked door. Some believe recovered technology shaped aircraft the public never saw. This idea sits at the center of the most electrifying theories around the base. The argument is simple and powerful. If a civilization more advanced than ours left behind machines, then studying them could change everything. Strange aircraft shapes, sudden leaps in performance, and classified breakthroughs become part of a much bigger story. Mainstream explanations point to human engineering, intense funding, and the natural progress of aerospace research. But those who lean toward the extraordinary see something else. They see secrecy protecting a source of knowledge too disruptive to reveal. In this version, the base is not merely a testing ground. It is a translation chamber where impossible discoveries are slowly turned into usable technology. The appeal of the idea is obvious. It suggests that history may have a hidden accelerator. It also suggests that some machines above our heads may carry a mystery older than the pilots who flew them. Area 51 became proof that secrecy can create its own mythology. The base did not need to confirm every wild claim to become powerful. It only needed to remain partly hidden. Human beings are built to search for patterns, especially when something important seems withheld. In that sense, the legend became a study in how mysteries grow. A classified site produced secrecy. Secrecy produced curiosity. Curiosity produced stories. Stories produced visitors, documentaries, jokes, fears, and lifelong obsessions. By the time official acknowledgements arrived, the myth had already become too large to be contained by paperwork. The public was no longer asking only what aircraft had been tested there. People were asking what secrecy itself does to truth. Does it protect necessary work? Does it conceal mistakes? Does it invite fantasy? Area 51 became the perfect case because all three possibilities could feel true at once. The place became more than a base. It became a mirror for every suspicion people have about hidden power. Groom Lake was chosen because flat emptiness made strange testing possible. A dry lakebed may sound ordinary, but to aircraft designers it can be incredibly useful. Its broad surface creates space for operations that would be difficult near towns, farms, or busy air routes. The surrounding desert adds distance. The mountains add concealment. The harsh environment discourages casual visitors. All of these features made the area attractive before the UFO mythology took over. In practical terms, it was a place where risky ideas could leave the drawing board and meet the real sky. That practical origin does not make the mystery smaller. It makes it more believable. Extraordinary secrets often need ordinary advantages. A remote lakebed can become a launch point for machines that look impossible elsewhere. Some people focus on the engineering. Others wonder whether the landscape was ideal for projects far stranger than test flights. Either way, The geography helped create a rare kind of hidden stage, built from emptiness itself. The base began with spy planes before it became a UFO legend. Its earliest fame was tied to the Cold War, when seeing farther than an opponent could see became a national obsession. High-altitude reconnaissance demanded aircraft that pushed limits and secrecy that protected them. The desert site offered a place where new designs could be tested away from ordinary attention. At that stage, the mystery was not aliens. It was surveillance, altitude, speed, and the intense pressure of global rivalry. Yet those very programs helped plant the seeds of the later legend. A strange aircraft seen before its time can look otherworldly to an unsuspecting witness. A classified flight can become an unexplained sighting. A hidden runway can become a rumor factory. The irony is compelling. Human technology may have helped create stories of non-human technology. But the alternative idea remains irresistible to many. Perhaps the spy plane history is only the documented layer, while the deeper story remains carefully untouched. The U-2 program gave Area 51 its first classified purpose. When this aircraft entered testing, it was unlike normal military planes in both mission and appearance. It was designed to fly extremely high, where it could gather information from places ordinary aircraft could not safely reach. That requirement made secrecy essential. The program needed distance from public eyes, foreign intelligence, and even many people inside the government. Groom Lake offered that distance. The project also created a strange side effect. Civilian pilots and observers sometimes saw unusual objects at heights that seemed impossible for aircraft of the era. Without context, those sightings could be interpreted in many ways. Some later reports of mysterious lights may have had roots in secret aviation rather than visitors from elsewhere. Yet the mystery does not end there. Once a place proves it can hide one revolutionary aircraft, people naturally wonder what else it could hide. The first classified purpose became the foundation for every larger suspicion that followed. The A-12 made the desert sound like science fiction. This aircraft pushed secrecy into a more dramatic realm. It was built for speed, altitude, and missions that demanded extreme performance. Even today, its design feels advanced. During development, it must have seemed almost unreal to anyone who glimpsed it without explanation. The desert around Groom Lake became a workshop for a machine that belonged to the edge of known possibility. Here, the Area 51 story becomes especially interesting because the truth already feels astonishing. No aliens are required for awe. Human engineers working under pressure and secrecy created something that could easily be mistaken for a craft from tomorrow. That does not silence the more speculative theories. It actually strengthens their mood. If documented programs were this strange, then undocumented ones may have been stranger still. The A-12 reminds us that the hidden world of aerospace has already produced machines that sound impossible until the files finally open. The Blackbird's shadow helped turn secret aviation into modern myth. The aircraft connected to this family of designs became icons because they seemed to outrun ordinary imagination. Their dark shapes, high speeds, and secretive development created a powerful image of technology beyond public understanding. For people who loved mysteries, this mattered because it proved that governments could build extraordinary machines, while most citizens knew almost nothing about them. That fact alone changed how people interpreted unusual sightings. A strange shape in the sky no longer had to be dismissed as fantasy. It might be a classified craft. Or, for those who favored a deeper theory, it might be something hidden behind the classified craft explanation. The Blackbird era gave the public a new kind of suspicion. It taught them that yesterday's rumor could become tomorrow's museum piece. That is why Area 51 feels so charged. It carries the memory of real secrets that eventually turned out to be spectacular. Pilots saw unexplained lights before the public knew about stealth aircraft. The sky can become confusing when advanced machines appear before people have language for them. Military pilots, commercial crews, and ground observers have sometimes reported lights or movements that did not fit familiar expectations. In areas near classified testing, those reports take on a special meaning. They may be glimpses of secret human technology. They may be misread natural effects. They may also be something that resists both explanations. The fascinating part is the timing. If a witness saw an unusual craft before its design was publicly known, their confusion was completely reasonable. This creates a strange overlap between UFO history and aerospace history. Some sightings may have been accidental previews of the future. Others may remain unsettled because no known program quite matches them. Area 51 sits inside that uncertainty. It is a place where the unknown in the sky might be a breakthrough, a mistake, or a door into something larger. Restricted airspace made ordinary curiosity feel like a federal boundary. Most places in the world allow a person to look, wander, and ask simple questions. Around this base, curiosity meets a line backed by serious authority. The limits are not symbolic. They are enforced through signs, patrols, surveillance, and rules that make the sky above the area as controlled as the ground below it. That changes the psychology of the mystery. People are not merely told that something is private. They are physically reminded that there are spaces in their own country they cannot approach. For some, this is understandable national security. For others, it feels like a challenge. What could be happening that requires such a hard perimeter? The boundary itself becomes evidence in the public imagination. Even without seeing what lies beyond it, visitors feel the pressure of exclusion. That feeling is one reason Area 51 remains unforgettable. It turns distance into drama and makes access itself part of the mystery. The warning signs became more famous than many official monuments. They are plain, direct, and impossible to misunderstand. Yet these signs became iconic because they mark the meeting point between everyday travel and a hidden world. Visitors photograph them as if they have reached the edge of a forbidden story. The wording carries weight because it does not explain the mystery. It only tells people to stay away. That refusal creates its own strange attraction. A sign meant to discourage attention becomes a landmark for attention. It tells a traveler that the rumors are not floating in empty space. There is a real boundary. There are real consequences. There is something beyond the road that someone wants protected. For skeptics, the signs are standard security around a sensitive installation. For believers, they feel like the front page of a deeper secret. Either reading gives them power. They are not just warnings. They are props in a national legend that people can stand beside. Camouflaged security guards became part of the Area 51 legend. Visitors gave them nicknames because they were visible enough to be noticed, but distant enough to remain mysterious. Parked on ridges or watching from vehicles, these guards became living symbols of the boundary. They rarely needed to say much. Their presence did the talking. For many travelers, seeing them was the moment the story became real. Until then, Area 51 might feel like a television idea or an internet obsession. A watchful figure on a hillside changes that. It suggests an organized system that notices who arrives, where they stop, and how close they come. The guards also add a human layer to the legend. Someone has to protect the secret, even if that person may know only a small part of what is being protected. That detail is compelling. The watchers themselves may be standing at the edge of a mystery larger than anything they are allowed to understand. The desert roads made visitors feel watched, long before they arrived. The journey matters because Area 51 is not reached through a normal sense of arrival. The roads stretch through remote country, and the landscape gives every vehicle unusual importance. A car behind you feels noticeable. A parked truck becomes interesting. A distant glint on a ridge can pull your attention away from the road. This is how the environment becomes part of the story. Even before anyone reaches a sign or a boundary, the setting encourages suspicion. Some of that feeling is psychological. People arrive expecting secrecy, so ordinary details take on extra weight. But some of it comes from the real security culture surrounding the region. The base is not hidden in a crowded place. It sits inside space, silence, and distance. That makes the approach feel like a slow crossing from ordinary life into controlled territory. By the time visitors stop, the mystery has already started working on them. Groom Lake appears on maps, while its deeper purpose remains unclear. A name on a map can feel simple, but this one creates a strange contradiction. The location can be pointed to. Its outline can be traced. The surrounding terrain can be studied from above. Yet knowing where it is does not mean knowing what it is doing. That is part of the fascination. Area 51 is not hidden in the old sense. It is visible, but unreadable. The buildings are there. The lakebed is there. The roads are there. What remains missing is meaning. A hangar can suggest aircraft, but not the project inside. A cleared space can imply testing, but not the thing being tested. The public can see enough to know the site matters, while still being kept outside the real explanation. That creates a modern kind of mystery. The secret is no longer its location. The secret is the purpose behind everything placed there. Satellites revealed buildings while leaving the real work hidden inside. The age of overhead imagery changed the mystery without ending it. Once civilians could examine the base from above, the old idea of total invisibility no longer applied. People could spot new structures, changing layouts and signs of expansion. For a moment, it seemed as if technology had finally caught up with secrecy. But satellite views have a hard limit. They show roofs, not rooms. They show shadows, not intentions. They reveal where something was built, but not why it was needed. That gap became a new playground for curiosity. One viewer might see ordinary military development. Another might see a carefully arranged mask for deeper work below or beyond the visible sight. The images gave researchers something real to discuss, which made the mystery feel sharper. Instead of ending speculation, the view from space gave the world a puzzle board covered in silent pieces. The dry lakebed may still hide testing patterns in plain sight. From a distance, the pale ground looks empty, almost blank. Yet to the trained eye, wide open surfaces can hold traces of repeated use. Tracks, graded areas, unusual markings, and cleared lines can suggest where machines moved and where tests may have been staged. That is what makes this terrain so interesting. The surface may appear natural, but years of activity can leave a quiet record. Some observers study old images and compare them to newer ones, hoping to notice changes that official statements never mention. A faint shape might be dismissed as dust. It might also be a clue to a trial that was never announced. This is where Area 51 rewards patience. The desert does not speak plainly, but it remembers pressure, movement, and disturbance. To some people, the lakebed is not empty at all. It is a notebook written in tire marks. Runway extensions suggested aircraft larger than anyone expected were being prepared. A runway is more than pavement. It is a clue about ambition. When a secret installation adds length or improves its landing areas, observers naturally wonder what kind of vehicle demanded the change. Larger aircraft need more room. Faster aircraft may need special margins. Experimental craft can require unusual support, especially if their handling is unpredictable. That is why runway work at Groom Lake has always attracted attention. It hints at future capability without naming the machine. Some people see practical upgrades for known aircraft and heavy operations. Others imagine prototypes so unusual that even their takeoff requirements would look suspicious. The idea becomes especially compelling because the base has a history of hosting aircraft the public did not yet understand. A longer runway does not prove anything exotic, but it does whisper that something significant may have been planned, and at Area 51, even pavement can start a legend. New construction kept renewing old questions about secret programs. Every time a new building appears, the mystery gets a fresh breath. Construction suggests funding, purpose, and planning. It means someone decided that the existing site was not enough. For a normal facility, that might sound routine. At Groom Lake, it becomes a signal. People ask what needed extra space. Was it a maintenance area, a command center, a laboratory, or a hangar shaped around something unfamiliar? The fascination comes from the way small changes suggest larger, unseen decisions. A wall rising in the desert may represent years of classified work before the first concrete was poured. It may also mean a program has moved from paper into hardware. Some explanations may be perfectly human, but that does not make them dull. The most advanced secrets on Earth still need doors, power, air conditioning, and storage. At Area 51, ordinary construction can feel like the footprint of an invisible future. The base's changing shape created fresh theories from every satellite image. A secret place is not supposed to be easy to read, yet people keep trying. Over time, satellite images became a kind of public detective game. Enthusiasts compared one view with another. They noticed added structures, altered surfaces, and changes around the edges of the installation. Sometimes the differences were small. Sometimes they were large enough to make forums and late-night conversations come alive. What makes this so compelling is that the images offer facts without explanations. Something changed. That part may be visible. The reason remains locked away. In that silence, competing theories grow quickly. One person imagines a new drone program. Another suspects a stealth aircraft. Someone else wonders whether the visible construction is only a cover for work somewhere less obvious. The base seems to evolve just enough to keep attention fixed on it. Each new image becomes a fresh chapter without a title. Hangars without explanations became the perfect fuel for late-night speculation. A hangar is a promise that something can be hidden inside. At an ordinary airport, that thought does not feel dramatic. At Area 51, it becomes irresistible. Large doors suggest large machines. Unusual shapes suggest unusual needs. A structure placed in a restricted zone carries a special kind of silence. It tells the public that something requires shelter, maintenance, and protection, but it refuses to say what. This is why hangars have such power in the legend. They focus the imagination. People picture wings folded in darkness, engines cooling after midnight tests, or craft covered before daylight reaches them. Skeptics may argue that classified aircraft need ordinary buildings just like any other project. That is reasonable. Yet the mystery remains because the contents are the story. A hangar is not exciting because of its walls. It is exciting because those walls create one simple question. What is waiting behind them? Closed roads quietly erased public access to once familiar viewpoints. The boundary around the base did not stay frozen. Over time, Areas that once allowed distant observation became harder to reach or were removed from public use. That matters because access is part of any mystery. When people can stand in a place and look toward a secret site, they feel a kind of participation. When that place is taken away, speculation intensifies. Was the change about safety? Was it about security? Or had too many people seen too much from the old vantage points? Each answer carries a different mood. For officials, closing roads may be routine protection for a sensitive installation. For visitors, it feels personal because the line moves outward. The forbidden space grows. The mystery seems to defend itself. That slow expansion changes the story from a hidden base into a guarded landscape, where even the act of looking can become something authorities wish to control. The land around Groom Lake expanded as curiosity grew stronger. A secret does not only occupy buildings, it occupies space around those buildings. As the protected area increased, the public sensed that the mystery was not shrinking. It was being given more room. Land withdrawals and restrictions can be explained through national security, especially around aircraft testing. Yet they also create a powerful impression. The more the perimeter grows, the more people wonder what sits at the center. In the case of Groom Lake, distance became a security tool. It pushed cameras farther away. It made casual visits less useful. It turned the desert itself into a buffer. That buffer did more than protect programs. It shaped the mythology. People began to imagine hidden operations spread across a wider region, connected by roads, ridgelines, and silent patrols. Whether those ideas are true or not, the expanding landscape made one thing clear. The unknown was not being opened. It was being given more privacy. The government's acknowledgements arrived decades after the rumors were already legendary. By the time official language finally caught up with the existence of the site, the story had grown far beyond a simple admission. Generations of rumors, sightings, books, television segments, and personal pilgrimages had already turned Area 51 into a cultural force. That delay is crucial. It meant the public learned to live with the mystery before it received confirmation. Once that happens, a statement can sound less like closure and more like the smallest possible concession. People asked why it took so long to say what so many already believed. They also wondered what still remained unsaid. The acknowledgement mattered, but it did not empty the legend of power. In a strange way, it strengthened it. If something as basic as the site's status could remain officially avoided for so long, then perhaps deeper matters were even more carefully shielded. The answer arrived late, and the question survived it. Workers were said to sign silence into their everyday lives. The most haunting part of classified work may be how ordinary it becomes for the people inside it. A person might drive, fly, repair, analyze, or manage, then return home unable to explain their day. That kind of silence changes a life. It separates work from family conversation. It turns simple questions into careful answers. It creates a private room inside the mind that even loved ones cannot enter. Around Area 51, this idea became central to the legend. The employees were not just workers. They were holders of fragments. Some may have known only a narrow task. Others may have understood enough to feel the weight of what they could not say. For believers in deeper secrets, non-disclosure agreements sound like locks on historic truths. For practical observers, they are normal tools of national defense. Either way, the human cost of silence gives the mystery a more intimate shape. Some former personnel described ordinary jobs inside an extraordinary place. Not every account connected to the base is filled with impossible machines or dramatic revelations. Some stories describe schedules, tools, procedures, and the normal pressure of getting work done in a restricted environment. That contrast is fascinating. A legendary site may still need mechanics, electricians, cooks, drivers, administrators, and technicians. The extraordinary can depend on routines that seem almost boring from the outside. This makes Area 51 feel more real, not less mysterious. A hidden project does not float above ordinary life. It is supported by paperwork, coffee, spare parts, and people who know where the keys are kept. These everyday details complicate the mythology. They suggest that even if amazing secrets existed there, most workers may have encountered only a small slice of the operation. The grand mystery could be built from countless practical tasks, each one harmless by itself, but together forming a machine no outsider is allowed to see. Other alleged insiders told stories that sounded impossible to verify. Some accounts enter the Area 51 legend with the force of a secret finally spoken, but they arrive without the kind of proof that can settle the matter. That is what makes them so captivating and so difficult. A person may describe hidden craft, unusual materials, strange procedures, or places beyond the public boundary. The story may feel detailed enough to be compelling. It may also contain gaps that raise suspicion. Listeners are left in a strange middle ground. They can neither fully accept nor easily dismiss what they have heard. In ordinary life, that would be frustrating. In a mystery like this, it becomes fuel. The lack of verification does not end the story. It becomes part of it. Some people believe the missing proof is a sign of fabrication. Others see it as exactly what would happen if the truth were protected by systems designed to erase its own trail. The base's secrecy made honest memories and hoaxes difficult to separate. Area 51 created the perfect environment for confusion. When real projects are classified, the public has no easy way to compare stories against facts. That means sincere witnesses, mistaken observers, exaggerators, and deliberate deceivers can end up occupying the same space. Someone may truly remember seeing an unusual light. Another person may invent a dramatic tale for attention. A third may repeat something heard from a friend of a friend until it feels like testimony. The problem is not only that people lie, it is that secrecy removes many of the tools used to test truth. This is why the legend is so persistent. It cannot be cleaned up neatly. A hoax can hide beside a genuine clue. A real sighting can be dismissed because fakes exist. The result is a fog that never fully lifts, and for many mystery lovers, that fog is exactly where the fascination lives. Bob Lazar's story still divides believers more than 30 years later. Few claims in modern UFO culture have remained so fiercely debated. Supporters point to details they believe were too specific to invent, along with the enduring emotional weight of the account. Critics focus on missing records, disputed credentials, and the difficulty of proving the central claims. What makes the division so intense is that the story sits at the crossing point between personal testimony and institutional secrecy. If the account is false, it became one of the most influential myths ever attached to the base. If any part of it is true, then the implications are enormous. That tension keeps people returning to the same interviews, the same locations, and the same unresolved questions. The debate is not only about one man. It is about whether a hidden program could erase a person's trail so thoroughly that doubt itself becomes part of the cover. That possibility is why the argument refuses to fade. Element 115 became a tiny detail with enormous mythic power. The claim involved a material said to be connected with extraordinary propulsion. At the time, the detail sounded strange enough to lodge itself in the imagination. Later, when an element with that number was officially created in a laboratory, the story gained a new layer for believers, even though the real scientific version did not match the more dramatic claims. That mismatch is part of the intrigue. One side sees coincidence and misunderstanding. Another sees a fragment of future knowledge leaking into the public record before its time. The power of this detail comes from its precision. A vague statement is easy to forget. A specific number feels like a clue. It gives the story something solid to orbit, even when the larger claim remains disputed. In the Area 51 mythology, this small piece of alleged information became a symbol of hidden science, forbidden materials, and technology that may not belong to our era. Lazar's claimed sport model craft became an icon of UFO culture. The described vehicle had a shape that felt instantly memorable. It was not a random light in the sky or a vague blur in a photograph. It was presented as a specific object with structure, behavior, and purpose. That made it powerful. People could picture it. Artists could draw it. Television could recreate it. Whether the description reflected reality or imagination, it gave UFO culture a clear image to rally around. The craft also mattered because it was described in the language of study rather than simple sighting. It was not merely observed from a distance. It was said to have been examined as a machine. That shifts the entire mood of the mystery. A sighting asks what flew overhead. A recovered craft asks who has it, how it works, and what has been learned from it. That is why the image still lingers in the conversation after so many years. Skeptics found gaps, while believers saw evidence of deliberate erasure. The debate around Area 51 often turns on the same problem. Missing information can point in opposite directions. To a skeptic, an absent record may weaken a claim. To a believer, that absence may suggest a successful cover-up. This creates a loop that is almost impossible to break. Every gap becomes a fork in the road. One path leads to doubt. The other leads deeper into suspicion. The base's history makes the issue even harder because secrecy there is not imaginary. Classified programs really did exist. Documents really were withheld. Names and purposes really were obscured. That gives some people permission to wonder whether disputed personal histories, vanished files, or unexplained inconsistencies might be more than ordinary confusion. Still, caution matters. Not every missing document proves a hidden truth. But in the world of Area 51, absence itself can feel strangely active, as if the blank spaces are guarding something. The S4 story moved the mystery beyond the main base. One of the most gripping elements in the legend is the idea that the famous installation may not be the true center of the deepest secret. The alleged site known as S4 shifted attention toward another location, said to be separate from the more visible activity at Groom Lake. That idea changed everything. It suggested that the public might be staring at the wrong door. The main base could be real, active, and important, while still serving as a kind of outer layer. For those who enjoy the more speculative side of the mystery, this is irresistible. It creates a hidden map inside the hidden map. It also explains why ordinary views of the base might reveal nothing conclusive. The most sensitive work in this version would be placed where cameras, hikers, and even many employees would never get close enough to matter. The mystery becomes deeper because the target moves. Claims of buried facilities made the visible base feel like misdirection. The idea of underground areas has always fit naturally with the Area 51 legend. The surface can be watched by satellites. Roads can be photographed. Hangars can be measured. But below ground, imagination finds a much larger canvas. Some people picture multi-level complexes, protected labs, hidden storage areas, and passageways leading away from the public eye. Officially, underground infrastructure can exist for practical reasons in sensitive environments. It can protect equipment, control access, and shield activities from view. Yet the more speculative version goes much further. It imagines the visible base as only the entrance hall. That possibility gives every plane building a second meaning. A door may not lead to a room. It may lead downward. A mound of earth may not be landscaping. It may conceal ventilation or access. The claim is hard to prove, which only makes it more durable. What cannot be seen is often easiest to magnify. Some theories place alien craft beneath the mountains near Papoose Lake. This idea pulls the mystery into one of its most cinematic forms. Instead of strange technology sitting in a regular hangar, it is imagined inside carved-out spaces near a remote desert lakebed. The setting matters. Mountains feel naturally suited to secrets. They can hide entrances, block views, and make distance feel absolute. In the more adventurous versions of the story, craft are stored where the landscape itself becomes part of the security system. Such claims remain disputed, and clear public evidence is not available. Yet their appeal is easy to understand. They solve a problem that haunts the legend. If the most astonishing objects exist, where could they be kept away from satellites and prying lenses? The answer, for some, is not on the open surface. It is inside the terrain. That turns the Nevada desert from a backdrop into a vault, and every ridge begins to look suspicious. Others imagine tunnels linking secret desert sites across Nevada. Once a person accepts that one hidden installation may exist, the next thought arrives quickly. Perhaps it is not alone. The American Southwest contains test ranges, military zones, remote roads, and vast empty spaces. In that setting, the idea of connected underground routes has become a favorite piece of speculation. Some versions imagine transport systems moving people or equipment between locations without exposure. Others picture older tunnels adapted for newer projects. Practical minds point out the immense cost and difficulty of such construction. Yet believers answer that black budgets, national urgency, and long timelines could make the impossible less impossible than it sounds. What makes the tunnel idea so captivating is not only movement, it is organization. A single base is a secret. A connected network is a hidden world. If such links existed, then Area 51 would not be an isolated mystery. It would be one visible point in the much larger, invisible system. The underground base idea grew because the surface seemed too simple. For many observers, the visible installation does not feel dramatic enough to match the scale of the legend. Buildings, roads, runways, and support areas can be fascinating, but they also look like something a military site might normally need. The myth demands more. That is where the underground idea finds its strength. It answers the emotional mismatch between what people can see and what they suspect. If the surface appears ordinary, perhaps that is because the extraordinary work is hidden below it. This is not proof. It is a pattern of thinking, but it is a powerful one because secrecy often teaches people to distrust appearances. A plain warehouse might be exactly what it seems. It might also be a lid. At Area 51, the surface has always felt like a partial sentence. The underground theory adds the missing words, even if nobody can agree whether those words are truth or fantasy. Groom Lake's mountains could hide entrances no casual visitor would notice. In a landscape filled with ridges, shadows, service roads, and rough terrain, concealment does not require magic. It requires placement. A carefully positioned access point could be nearly invisible from far away, especially if it blended with the slope or faced away from common viewpoints. This possibility gives the surrounding mountains a strange role in the legend. They are not just scenery. They become potential participants. A dark rectangle seen in a photo may be a shadow. A graded path may be erosion control. A cut in the rock may be nothing at all. But near a secret base, ordinary features are rarely allowed to remain ordinary in the public mind. Every mark invites interpretation. The appeal of this idea is that it feels physically plausible without proving anything extreme. Hidden entrances do exist in military and industrial settings. The question is whether any near Groom Lake lead to something more remarkable than anyone outside has imagined. Nighttime lights on distant ridges inspired stories of hidden movement. Darkness changes the scale of the desert. During the day, the land can look still and empty. At night, a small light far away can seem deliberate, mysterious, and almost personal. Around restricted areas, observers have reported glows, moving points, and brief flashes that may have ordinary explanations. Vehicles, security patrols, aircraft activity, and equipment can all create lights in remote terrain. Yet the mind naturally asks why movement is happening there, at that hour, beyond that boundary. This is how simple observations become stories. A light is seen. Its source is unknown. The unknown attaches itself to the larger legend. Soon the ridge is imagined as an entrance, a route, or a lookout tied to secret work. Some of these interpretations may be wrong, but the feeling is real. In a place where daylight already withholds answers, nighttime can make every distant spark feel like evidence of something traveling unseen. Unmarked trucks suggested supply chains serving projects nobody could name. Every hidden program still needs material support. That reality gives ordinary vehicles an unusual importance near Area 51. Trucks may carry food, tools, fuel, electronics, construction supplies, or countless other practical things. But when they move through a region associated with extreme secrecy, their anonymity becomes intriguing. No logo can mean routine discretion. It can also feel like deliberate concealment. Observers wonder where the cargo came from, where it is going, and what project depends on it. The supply chain becomes a shadow version of the secret itself. You may never see the aircraft or device at the center of the program, but you might glimpse the pieces required to keep it alive. This is a different kind of mystery from lights in the sky. It is grounded, mechanical, and procedural. It suggests that the unknown is not only tested in dramatic moments, it is delivered in crates, driven on roads, and logged behind closed doors. Strange convoys fueled rumors of materials moving under deep classification. A convoy has a different feeling from a single vehicle. It suggests coordination, protection, and purpose. When people report unusual groups of vehicles near restricted desert areas, the imagination starts building around them. The cargo may be ordinary, but sensitive. It may be linked to construction, equipment transfers, or classified testing schedules. Still, the sight of multiple vehicles moving together invites bigger questions. Why this route? Why this timing? Why the secrecy? Some people imagine prototype parts covered under tarps. Others picture recovered objects being moved from one facility to another. The most extreme versions involved materials that could change public understanding of technology itself. The truth might be far more practical, but the mystery remains because convoys are glimpsed from the outside. They pass through the story without stopping to explain themselves. At Area 51, even transportation can feel like a clue that briefly appears, then vanishes into protected distance. Workers leaving at dusk became witnesses without ever saying a word. There is something compelling about people who may know more than they can reveal. When employees depart a classified site, they carry with them the ordinary signs of a workday and the extraordinary burden of silence. They may look tired, calm, distracted, or completely normal. To an outsider, every expression can feel meaningful, even though it may mean nothing at all. This is the strange human theatre surrounding Area 51. The workers do not need to make claims. Their presence suggests that something real is happening beyond the perimeter. Each person becomes a closed book. They may have repaired a vehicle, reviewed data, handled security, or participated in a program of historic importance. No visitor can know. That uncertainty makes them powerful figures in the legend. They are proof of activity, but not proof of content. Their silence keeps the mystery intact, while their daily movement reminds everyone that the hidden world is staffed by real people. The silence of employees became one of the loudest clues. In most stories, testimony matters because someone speaks. At Area 51, silence became testimony of a different kind. The lack of casual detail, the careful avoidance, and the lifelong restraint of people connected to classified work created a powerful impression. Some of that silence is expected. Sensitive defense projects require discipline. Still, for the public, it raises a deeper question. What kind of experience teaches so many people not to share even small pieces of their working lives? This is where the base becomes psychologically fascinating. The people closest to the truth are often the least able to satisfy curiosity. That turns absence into pressure. A former worker saying nothing can feel more interesting than a stranger saying everything. It suggests boundaries inside memory itself. The silence may protect ordinary secrets, or it may protect astonishing ones. Either possibility keeps listeners leaning closer because the most important voice in the room may be the one that never speaks. Even mundane logistics felt mysterious because no one could explain them. At most workplaces, supplies arriving through a gate would not attract attention. Near Area 51, the smallest practical detail can feel loaded with meaning. A delivery schedule, a maintenance vehicle, a shipment of parts, or a new utility line can all suggest activity behind the barrier. The mystery comes from the lack of context. Nobody outside the system knows whether those materials support routine operations or something far more unusual. That makes ordinary logistics strangely fascinating. A crate may contain replacement equipment. It may also belong to a project hidden behind layers of classification. The truth could be boring, but the setting refuses to let it feel boring. Every movement seems connected to a larger machine that outsiders cannot see. This is one reason the legend feels so durable. Area 51 does not need constant dramatic sightings to stay alive. Sometimes a truck, a locked gate, and unanswered purpose are enough. The name Dreamland gave the base an almost unreal identity. A code name can change how people feel about a place. This one did more than conceal. It made the site sound like something outside ordinary geography. Dreamland suggests a zone where normal rules bend, where strange machines rise from secrecy, and where waking life begins to feel uncertain. That matters because Area 51 has always lived partly in paperwork and partly in imagination. A dry military label would never have carried the same charge. This name allowed the hidden base to feel almost mythic, even before outsiders knew much about it. Some people hear it as a simple nickname used inside a classified world. Others hear something more deliberate, as if the people naming the place understood its eerie power. The word invites the mind to wander. It makes technology feel dreamlike, and it makes the desert seem less like a location than a threshold. Paradise Ranch sounded harmless while hiding one of history's strangest sights. When early personnel were encouraged to think of the remote test location in friendly terms, the nickname had a practical purpose. It softened a harsh landscape. It made isolation sound less severe. It gave workers a more comfortable phrase for a place built around secrecy, risk, and difficult experiments. That contrast is what makes the name so fascinating now. Nothing about the later legend feels like paradise. The region became associated with guarded roads, restricted airspace, and stories that stretched far beyond ordinary military work. Yet the harmless name remains like a little joke from the beginning of the story. It reminds us that great mysteries do not always announce themselves with dramatic language. Sometimes they begin with something almost cheerful. That makes the transformation even stranger. A place once dressed in a welcoming nickname became a global symbol of hidden power, and the innocence of the phrase only deepens the unease. Watertown turned a secret base into a coded government destination. This name carried a different kind of weight because it sounded administrative rather than mysterious. It could appear in conversation or documents without immediately calling attention to itself. That is the brilliance of coded language. It hides in plain speech. A person hearing it without context might imagine a normal town, not a remote installation tied to secret aircraft and national security. Around Area 51, language often works this way. It does not only describe reality, it manages who is allowed to recognize it. A name can become a screen between the public and the program. For those who study the legend, these labels feel like clues left by a system that needed to function without explaining itself. The site becomes less like a single base and more like an identity with several masks. Each name reveals a different mood, and this one feels like a file drawer that closes before you can read it. The nickname, the ranch made Extreme Secrecy, sounds strangely ordinary. There is something disarming about a secret installation being described with such a plain, homely word. A ranch suggests fences, work, dust, long days, and practical routines. It does not suggest classified aircraft or decades of speculation. That mismatch gives the nickname its quiet power. It makes the extraordinary sound like a workplace. It also hints at how people inside closed systems may normalize things that outsiders would find astonishing. For a worker, the site may have been where equipment needed fixing and schedules had to be met. For the public, it became a place where reality might be hiding another layer. Both things can be true at once. The name reduces the mystery while accidentally enriching it. It suggests that behind the global legend, there were daily habits, lunch breaks, radios, tools, and tired people heading home. The impossible, if it existed there, may have lived inside a routine. Each unofficial name added another layer to the hidden story. One secret place with one name is already interesting. A place with several names begins to feel slippery. Each label carries a different purpose, and each purpose suggests a different audience. Some names may have been used for morale. Others may have been used for security. Others became public shorthand after the legend escaped its fences. Together, they create the sense of a site that cannot be fully held by one description. That is fitting, because Area 51 itself changes depending on who is speaking. To military planners, it may be a test range. To aviation historians, it is a birthplace of remarkable machines. To UFO believers, it is a possible doorway into the greatest secret ever kept. To tourists, it is a destination on a desert road. The names do not settle the identity. They scatter it. They make the base feel like a story told through aliases. The base entered pop culture before officials fully admitted its existence. This is one of the strangest parts of the story. Area 51 became famous in movies, television, books, jokes, posters, and late-night conversations, while official language still moved carefully around it. Popular culture did not wait for permission. It took the rumors and built a world from them. That gave the base a strange double life. In one world, it was a sensitive military site. In another, it was a symbol everyone recognized. People could wear shirts about it, laugh about aliens, and still sense that the joke was attached to something real. This made the legend almost impossible to control. Once a secret becomes entertainment, it travels faster than any denial. Children learned the name before they understood classified programs. Adults used it as shorthand for hidden truth. By the time the government spoke more openly, the public had already made the place part of modern folklore. Movies made Area 51 feel familiar and unreachable at once. Cinema has a special way of turning distance into recognition. Most viewers will never approach the Nevada boundary, yet they feel they know the idea of the place. Films gave audiences sealed hangars, guarded corridors, and the promise that something impossible might be stored behind a door. These images became so familiar that they shaped expectations before people ever learned the real history. The screen version is usually bigger, cleaner, and more dramatic than reality, but that does not weaken its effect. It teaches the imagination where to look. A plain desert building becomes suspicious because movies have trained us to wonder what lies beneath it. A security gate becomes the opening scene of a hidden truth. The fascinating question is whether pop culture merely exaggerated the legend or helped protect it. If everyone expects fiction, then perhaps the strangest facts could hide inside the laughter. Television turned the desert base into shorthand for forbidden knowledge. A mention of Area 51 on a show can do a remarkable amount of work. It instantly suggests secrets, unexplained technology, hidden rooms, and officials who know more than they admit. Television helped compress decades of rumor into a symbol anyone could understand. That made the base larger than its physical location. It became a language. A character did not need to explain the whole history. The name alone carried the charge. Documentary programs added another layer by mixing interviews, archival material, dramatic music, and unanswered questions. For viewers at home, the mystery felt close enough to discuss, yet distant enough to remain unresolved. This repeated exposure created a feedback loop. The more television used the base as a symbol, the more famous the symbol became. The more famous it became, the more people wondered why that particular place had become the chosen container for forbidden knowledge. Video games placed alien secrets where real documents stayed vague. Interactive stories gave players something reality never offered. They let people cross the fence. They let them enter the hangar, open the door, find the craft, and confront the hidden experiment. That fantasy is powerful because the real site withholds almost everything. Games turn denied access into playable access. They also help younger audiences absorb the Area 51 myth through action rather than research. In that world, the base becomes a maze of clues and threats, a place where every locked room promises revelation. Of course, games are fiction, but fiction can shape the emotional truth of a legend. It teaches people that Area 51 is where the impossible belongs. It makes secrecy feel like a challenge waiting to be beaten. The real base may have no alien chamber at all. Yet in the public imagination, millions have already walked through one, controller in hand, under flashing lights. Conspiracy radio made Groom Lake a nightly gateway into the unknown. Before online forums became the main meeting place for strange ideas, late-night radio gave the mystery a voice in the dark. Callers told stories. Hosts asked careful questions. Listeners drove empty roads or lay awake as the Nevada desert entered their imagination. The format mattered. A voice at night can make a claim feel intimate, almost confessional. Area 51 was perfect for that atmosphere because it already combined secrecy with just enough real history to keep the door open. A caller might describe a sighting, Another might mention a friend who knew a worker. Someone else might connect the base to a wider hidden program. Not every story could be trusted. That was part of the experience. Radio turned uncertainty into companionship. It allowed people to sit with impossible possibilities without needing a final verdict. Groom. Lake became a place the mind could visit after midnight. The Independence Day hangar scene shaped public imagination for decades. For many people, one movie scene did more to define the legend than any official statement ever could. The idea was simple and unforgettable. A hidden facility, a concealed craft, and a government secret so huge it had been kept from almost everyone. That image entered the cultural bloodstream. It gave Area 51 a visual grammar. After that, people did not just wonder whether something was hidden there. They could picture the reveal. A massive door, a stunned visitor, a machine that should not exist. This matters because imagination often needs a shape before it can attach to a mystery. The scene supplied that shape. It did not prove anything, and it was not meant to. Yet it made the rumor feel emotionally real. From then on, the phrase Area 51 carried a cinematic expectation. Somewhere beyond the security line, people imagined a hangar waiting to open. The Storm Area 51 event proved the myth was still alive. The online joke began with absurd confidence, but the reaction showed something important. Decades after the first stories took hold, the base could still capture global attention almost instantly. Millions of people understood the reference. They knew the idea of hidden aliens. They knew the image of a forbidden desert facility. They also knew that the whole thing was ridiculous and strangely exciting at the same time. That mixture explains the legend's survival. Area 51 can be serious, comic, suspicious, nostalgic, and weirdly communal. The event turned Secrecy into a shared performance. Most people never intended to approach the boundary, yet they participated in the fantasy of doing so. The base became a meme because it was already a myth. The humor did not weaken the mystery. It proved the opposite. A story powerful enough to become a joke can be even harder to erase. Millions joked online while a smaller crowd actually reached the desert. The difference between internet fantasy and physical arrival created one of the oddest chapters in Area 51 history. Online, the idea spread through jokes, edited images, and exaggerated plans. In Nevada, it became tents, traffic, music, law enforcement, desert dust, and real people standing under the same sky as the restricted zone. That shift is fascinating because it shows how digital mythology can become geography. Most participants were not there to invade anything. They came to be near the story. They wanted to feel the boundary between meme and reality. In a sense, the event became a modern pilgrimage built from humor. The crowd was not proof of aliens or hidden craft. It was proof that the legend had escaped every normal category. Area 51 was no longer only a base or a rumor. It had become a social ritual capable of pulling strangers toward the desert. The viral raid became absurd because the secrecy already felt unreal. The joke worked because the base had spent decades feeling like a place from fiction. A normal military installation would not have inspired the same reaction. Area 51 already carried alien rumors, secret aircraft, forbidden roads, and a sense that official reality had a locked basement. The proposed raid exaggerated that feeling until it became comedy. Yet underneath the absurdity was a serious question. Why do so many people instinctively believe that something world-changing might be hidden from them? The answer does not require every theory to be true. It only requires a public mood shaped by real secrecy, delayed admissions, and institutions that often reveal less than people want to know. The event turned distrust into a punchline, but the punchline landed because the suspicion was already there. People laughed, shared, and imagined crossing the line because the line itself had become one of the most famous barriers on Earth. Memes briefly turned a classified base into global comedy folklore. For a short time, Area 51 belonged to the internet in a new way. It was no longer only the subject of serious documentaries or late-night speculation. It became a stream of running jokes, cartoon aliens, fake training plans, and playful arguments about how to outsmart security. This could have made the mystery feel smaller, but it did something more interesting. It refreshed the legend for a generation that communicates through humor. The memes simplified the story while keeping the core idea intact. There is a place. Something may be hidden there. People are not allowed to see it. That is all the myth needs. Comedy also made the topic approachable. Someone who had never read about spy planes or alleged saucers could still understand the joke instantly. In that moment, a classified landscape became a global campfire story, retold in images faster than any old rumor could travel. The nearby town of Rachel became a capital of roadside mystery. A tiny desert community found itself connected to one of the largest myths in modern America. Rachel sits near the routes traveled by curious visitors, which gave it a role far beyond its size. People came looking for the edge of the unknown, and the town became part of that journey. Its importance comes from proximity, but also from atmosphere. A remote settlement near a secret base feels like the kind of place where stories might collect naturally. Travelers stop, ask questions, buy souvenirs, and trade rumors. Locals live with the practical reality of distance, while outsiders arrive carrying dramatic expectations. That contrast gives Rachel its charm. It is both ordinary and legendary. A person can stand there and feel the strange overlap between daily life and cosmic speculation. The town proves that a mystery does not remain confined to its fence. It spills outward into every place nearby. The little alien turned speculation into a desert gathering place. This roadside stop became famous because it gave the Area 51 legend a front porch. Visitors needed somewhere to eat, rest, talk, and compare stories after driving through the empty landscape. The inn provided that place with humor and a wink toward the alien mythology surrounding the region. Its name tells you exactly what kind of world you have entered. Here, belief and playfulness can sit at the same table. A traveler might arrive as a skeptic and still enjoy the strange feeling of being near a forbidden site. Someone else might come hoping for evidence and leave with a conversation they never expected. The value of the place is not in proving what happens behind the boundary. It is in showing how a mystery creates community. Area 51 may be closed off, but the stories around it need somewhere open. The inn became that meeting point. Highway signs welcomed travelers into a landscape built for strange ideas. Official signs can sometimes do what folklore alone cannot. They make the weirdness feel recognized. When a road is associated with extraterrestrial legend, the journey changes before anything unusual happens. The driver enters a named experience. The landscape becomes part of the story. Each mile invites expectation because the sign has already framed the route as a corridor of mystery. That is the power of place branding around Area 51. It turns desert travel into a kind of participation. The road may be quiet. The sky may be empty. The signs still suggest that the area belongs to strange possibilities. Some travelers come for fun. Others come because they feel the region may hold clues to something hidden. Both reactions matter. The highway does not prove any theory, but it gives the imagination permission to come along for the ride. In the desert, even a sign can become an invitation. souvenir shops kept the mystery alive through maps and alien faces. Merchandise may seem light-hearted, but it plays a real role in preserving legends. A mug, a shirt, a sticker, or a novelty map lets visitors take a piece of the mystery home. The object becomes proof that they went near the story. Around Area 51, alien imagery turned secrecy into something people could hold in their hands. That does not make the topic less interesting. It shows how deeply the legend entered everyday culture. A classified base is not supposed to become a gift shop theme, yet this one did. The souvenirs also create an odd blend of belief and humor. A person can buy a cartoon alien while still wondering whether something serious lies behind the joke. This is one of the strangest strengths of the Area 51 myth. It survives in serious claims, but it also survives on shelves, postcards, and dashboard trinkets. Local residents watched curiosity become an economy of unanswered questions. For people living near the legend, the mystery is not only an abstract idea. It affects traffic, business, conversations, and the way outsiders view the area. Visitors arrive because they want contact with something unresolved. They may not know exactly what they expect to find. They only know the name has power. That curiosity creates an economy built on uncertainty. Food, lodging, tours, souvenirs, and local stories all gain value because the central questions remain unanswered. If every secret were explained, the draw might weaken. Instead, the unknown keeps people coming. This can be strange for residents who live normal lives in a place outsiders treat as a portal to hidden truth. The contrast is compelling. One person's hometown becomes another person's pilgrimage site. Area 51 shows how secrecy can reshape not only public imagination, but also the daily life of communities that happen to sit near the edge of it. The extraterrestrial highway made rumor part of Nevada's public identity. A road name can be a statement. By leaning into the region's UFO reputation, Nevada turned a fringe fascination into a recognized part of its landscape. That does not mean the state confirmed the wildest stories. It means the stories had become too famous to ignore. The highway helped transform rumor into destination. Travelers could follow a route that seemed designed for curiosity, even if the mysteries remained unofficial and unresolved. This is a rare kind of cultural alchemy. A secret military region, a history of sightings, and decades of speculation became part of tourism and local identity. Some people see that as playful marketing. Others see it as a subtle acknowledgement that the area carries unusual importance. Either way, the name matters. It tells visitors that the legend is no longer hidden in obscure magazines or whispered conversations. It has been written onto the road itself. Tourists followed dusty roads because the unknown had become a destination. Many famous destinations offer a monument, a view, or a clear attraction. Around Area 51, the attraction is mostly refusal. People travel towards something they cannot enter and may barely see. That sounds irrational until you understand the pull of mystery. The journey offers tension. Each turn in the road seems to move the traveler closer to a question that has haunted popular culture for decades. The empty spaces become meaningful because they surround a protected center. A distant sign or patrol vehicle can feel more memorable than a museum exhibit. The tourist is not consuming a finished story. They are approaching an unfinished one. That is why the dusty roads matter. They create anticipation without resolution. People return home with photographs, impressions, and the feeling of having stood near a sealed chapter of history. The destination is not a building. It is the boundary between knowing and wondering. The black mailbox gathered offerings for stories nobody could prove. People left objects there because they wanted to participate in the legend. Notes, stickers, small tokens, and strange little messages. turned a roadside feature into a meeting point for belief. The act of leaving something matters. It turns curiosity into ritual. Nobody needed proof that the mailbox had a direct connection to secret programs. Its meaning came from the people who gathered around it. In a landscape where access was denied, this object became available. Visitors could touch it, photograph it, and treat it as a marker near the edge of the unknown. The offerings also show how mystery creates behavior that looks almost ceremonial. People were not only seeking information, they were acknowledging a story larger than themselves. That is why the mailbox became memorable. It gave the public a place to place their questions, even when the base itself would never accept them. Replaced mailboxes became relics because believers treated location like evidence. When an ordinary object becomes famous, replacements can inherit the power of the original. That happened because the significance was never only the metal box itself. It was the spot, the road, the view, and the accumulated stories. People cared because the location had been folded into Area 51 folklore. A replacement could still feel authentic if it stood within the same narrative field. This reveals something important about how legends work. Evidence is not always treated as a document or a photograph. Sometimes it becomes a place where people feel the story has touched the ground. Believers may see continuity where skeptics see only tourism. Both reactions tell us something useful. The mailbox gained meaning through repetition, attention, and shared expectation. It became a relic not because it proved a hidden truth, but because thousands of people behaved as if the mystery had left a fingerprint there. Even empty desert objects gained meaning near Area 51. Context changes everything. A fence post, a distant tower, a locked gate, or a weathered sign might be ignored almost anywhere else. Near this base, such objects become charged with possibility. They appear within a landscape already shaped by secrecy, so the mind gives them extra weight. This is not always rational, but it is deeply human. When people believe a place holds hidden meaning, they begin to read the smallest details. A road marker may suggest a route. A camera pole may suggest surveillance. A concrete pad may suggest a former structure. Some interpretations will be mistaken. Yet the process itself is part of the mystery. Area 51 teaches visitors to look harder. It turns the desert into a field of clues, even when many clues may lead nowhere. That is why the surrounding landscape feels alive with implication. Nothing has to happen for something to feel significant. Some visitors reported aircraft moving faster than familiar explanation allowed. Speed is one of the most powerful ingredients in a sighting. A strange light can be dismissed more easily if it drifts or hovers. But when something crosses the sky with startling acceleration, the witness feels that familiar categories have failed. Around restricted test regions, such reports become especially interesting. They may involve advanced aircraft, unusual viewing angles, or sensory confusion in a vast night sky. Yet for those drawn to the more daring possibilities, they suggest technology beyond public knowledge. The key is the feeling of mismatch. The observer sees motion that does not fit what they believe machines can do. That gap becomes the mystery. Near Area 51, the gap feels larger because secret aircraft have actually been tested there. A witness does not have to leap immediately to aliens. The sky itself offers several doors, and none of them open easily. That uncertainty is what keeps the story moving. Others heard engine sounds that seemed to come from nowhere. Sound can be more unsettling than sight because it reaches the listener without showing its source. In the open desert, noise travels in strange ways. A distant aircraft may seem nearby. A vehicle hidden by terrain may appear to hum from empty space. Temperature, wind, and geography can bend perception until direction becomes difficult. Around Area 51, those effects take on a mysterious edge. People hear rumbling, roaring, or pulsing tones and wonder what kind of machine produced them. Some sounds may belong to ordinary aircraft operating at unusual distances. Others may come from tests that were never publicly described. The more speculative listener imagines propulsion systems unlike anything in civilian life. This is why the reports remain compelling. They do not depend on a clear photograph. They depend on the body's reaction to an unseen force. A sound arrives across the desert, and for a moment, the hidden world seems to breathe. Strange contrails over Nevada often became clues in amateur investigations. The sky can leave evidence that fades while people are still trying to understand it. Contrails, vapor lines, and unusual cloud patterns have long attracted attention near secret testing areas. Observers photograph them, compare their shapes, and argue over what kind of aircraft could have produced them. Most trails have ordinary explanations involving altitude, moisture, and known flight activity. But some patterns appear unusual enough to keep curiosity alive. A sharp turn, a repeated route, or a trail scene where flights are not expected can spark intense discussion. Around Area 51, even a line across the sky can feel like a signature left by a hidden machine. This form of investigation is fascinating because it is open to anyone with patience and a camera. The evidence is temporary, but the questions linger. The trail disappears, and the story remains, stretching across the imagination long after the sky clears. Night tests turn normal darkness into a theater of suspicion. Testing after sunset offers practical advantages. It can reduce visibility from outside observers. It can help evaluate lights, sensors, and flight behavior under specific conditions. It can also make a secret program feel far more mysterious to anyone watching from miles away. Darkness removes detail and amplifies movement. A small aircraft light becomes a glowing point with no body. A distant maneuver becomes an impossible turn. A brief flare becomes a rumor before morning. Around Area 51, the night sky became one of the main stages for speculation. People gathered with cameras, binoculars, and expectations shaped by decades of stories. Some sightings were likely connected to human projects. Others may have been mistakes, celestial objects, or aircraft seen in unusual conditions. Yet the uncertainty is the attraction. Night does not only hide the machine, it changes how the witness experiences reality, and that change is where the mystery grows. Experimental aircraft made the sky itself part of the cover story. This is one of the most fascinating possibilities because it turns the UFO legend inside out. If unusual classified aircraft were seen by civilians, then rumors of alien craft may have helped conceal human programs. A witness reports something strange. The public argues about extraterrestrials. Meanwhile, the actual project remains protected behind the noise. This does not require a grand scripted deception. It can happen naturally when secrecy meets imagination. The stranger the aircraft, the easier it is for people to misidentify it. The wilder the rumor, the less seriously some officials may need to respond. Around Area 51, this possibility feels especially plausible because real aircraft were once hidden there. But it also leaves room for deeper speculation. Some people wonder whether the cover story worked in both directions. Perhaps human craft explained many sightings. Perhaps the alien rumor shielded something even stranger. The sky became both evidence and disguise. Stealth technology once looked impossible before it became public history. There is a powerful lesson hidden inside this part of the story. Some machines seem unbelievable only because the public has not been allowed to see the work that made them real. Stealth technology is now discussed openly enough that it can feel familiar. But before it was revealed, the idea of shaping an aircraft so radar would struggle to find it sounded almost like a trick from science fiction. That matters deeply to the Area 51 mystery. It proves that the line between impossible rumor and classified fact can move over time. What sounds absurd in one decade may become a museum exhibit in another. This is why people keep wondering what might still be hidden. If engineers already turned invisibility into a practical design goal, then perhaps other strange ideas are farther along than anyone admits. The past keeps warning us that public reality may be running behind the secret one. The F-117 proved bizarre shapes could hide in secrecy. Before the public understood it, this aircraft would have looked deeply unnatural to many observers. Its angular surfaces did not match the smooth curves people expected from high-performance flight. It seemed almost wrong, yet that wrongness had purpose. The shape was part of how it survived in hostile airspace. For the Area 51 legend, this became a landmark example of real strangeness. A secret aircraft could look so unusual that a witness might struggle to describe it without sounding like they had seen something from another world. That fact changed the way people judged unexplained sightings. Perhaps some reports were not fantasy at all. Perhaps they were glimpses of technology before the public had a category for it. The aircraft also raises the larger question. If one odd design could remain hidden until its time came, then what stranger forms may still be waiting behind closed hangar doors? Secret drones may have changed the base's mission after spy planes. The old image of Area 51 is full of pilots, pressure suits, and sleek aircraft built for human courage. But the future of secret flight may have moved toward machines that do not need a cockpit at all. Drones change the mystery because they allow new shapes, longer missions, and risks that no commander would accept with a person on board. A remote desert range would be ideal for testing such systems under conditions that outsiders cannot easily observe. Some drones might be small and quiet. Others could be large enough to look like aircraft from a different category entirely. This shift would also explain why the base keeps feeling relevant long after its most famous Cold War programs. The public may still imagine saucers and spy planes, while the hidden work has moved into autonomous systems. That possibility is fascinating because it suggests the legend is not trapped in the past. It may be evolving. Hypersonic rumors grew because the desert kept producing impossible silhouettes. When people hear about aircraft moving several times faster than sound, the mind reaches for extreme images. Sharp shapes, strange heating, unusual engines. Flight paths that seem to shrink distance itself. Around Area 51, rumors of such craft feel natural because the base has long been associated with vehicles beyond public expectation. The difficulty is that hypersonic research can be real without every sighting being true. A distant shape at sunset can fool the eye. A classified test can be misread. A story can grow in the retelling. Yet the concept remains thrilling because it points toward a future where borders, oceans, and warning systems mean something different. Some people wonder whether prototypes have already crossed the Nevada sky, while most of the world looked elsewhere. The desert becomes a testing ground not only for machines, but for time itself, because the aircraft imagined there seemed to arrive from tomorrow. The alleged Aurora aircraft became a legend built from sonic booms. This rumored program captured attention because it seemed to leave traces without ever fully appearing. People connected unusual sounds, strange sky trails, and hints in defense conversations to the idea of a secret high-speed aircraft. The name itself became magnetic. It suggested something graceful, fast, and hidden near the edge of official history. No clear public unveiling settled the matter, which allowed the legend to keep growing. Some believe the aircraft never existed as described. Others think the rumors may have pointed toward a family of projects rather than one single machine. That ambiguity is what makes it perfect for Area 51. A program can be real, misnamed, cancelled, exaggerated, or folded into something else. Each option leaves the mystery partly alive. The most fascinating possibility is that the public may have been chasing the shadow of a vehicle that was already obsolete by the time the rumors became famous. Pulse detonation stories gave the desert a sound like hidden thunder. Some rumors do not begin with a clear sighting. They begin with a rhythm. Reports of unusual booming sounds led people to imagine engines unlike the smooth turbines familiar from ordinary aircraft. The phrase attached to these stories suggested bursts of power, rapid combustion, and a propulsion method that sounded more violent than conventional flight. Around Area 51, that idea became especially vivid. A hidden aircraft might not only look strange, it might announce itself through a pattern the listener could feel in the chest. Practical explanations remain possible. Military activity, atmospheric effects, and distant aircraft can create surprising noises. Still, the story gained power because sound feels difficult to fake in the moment. You may not see the machine, but you know something moved the air. In the desert, that invisible force becomes memorable. It leaves no photograph, yet it can make the listener believe a secret has passed overhead. Triangular lights inspired theories beyond anything officials were willing to discuss. Few shapes have captured modern sky mystery like the triangle. Witnesses have described dark forms, corner lights, slow movement, and silent passage in ways that feel different from classic saucer stories. Near secret test regions, those reports become especially charged. A triangle could be a classified aircraft. It could be several aircraft flying in formation. It could be a misread pattern of lights. For some, it is a sign of technology, not publicly acknowledged. The shape matters because it feels designed. A random light can be dismissed as confusion, but a stable geometric pattern suggests structure and intention. That is why triangular sightings hold such force in the imagination. They seem to sit between military secrecy and something larger. Area 51 does not need to be named in every account for its shadow to appear. The base has taught people that strange shapes in the sky may have classified explanations, or stranger ones. Some believe reverse engineering explains leaps in classified aerospace design. The idea is breathtaking because it turns innovation into a hidden inheritance. In this version of the story, the most unusual aircraft are not only products of human research. They are attempts to understand technology found elsewhere, then adapt fragments of it into usable designs. That would explain sudden advances, strange materials, and concepts that seem to appear ahead of schedule. Mainstream history credits human talent, intense funding, and the pressure of competition. That explanation is powerful on its own. Yet the reverse engineering theory persists because secrecy creates a space where extraordinary sources can be imagined. Area 51 is central to this idea because it already represents the place where impossible machines might be studied away from public view. The most exciting part is also the most difficult to prove. If such work existed, the visible results might look like ordinary progress, while the original source remained completely hidden. Others see human genius hidden behind alien rumors for protection. There is another possibility that may be just as fascinating. What if the wildest stories helped conceal achievements made entirely by people? In that view, rumors of alien craft became a convenient fog around brilliant but earthly programs. Engineers could test radical aircraft, while public attention drifted toward saucers and recovered beings. Officials might not need to encourage every rumor. They only needed to let confusion do some of the work. This theory has an elegant twist because it respects both secrecy and human capability. It says the real miracle may have been built in workshops, not found in a crash. Yet it still preserves the sense of hidden wonder. Imagine technologies so advanced that the easiest way to protect them was to let people believe they came from somewhere else. Around Area 51, that idea feels plausible because the base has already produced real surprises. The alien myth may have been a shield for human brilliance. The best cover story may have been the wildest one. A boring denial can draw attention. A ridiculous rumor can make people look away. That paradox sits near the heart of the Area 51 mystery. If the public associates a real classified program with aliens, then serious observers may dismiss the whole topic as fantasy. The stranger the rumor becomes, the more useful it could be as camouflage. This does not require every wild claim to be planted. It only requires a system that benefits when truth and absurdity become tangled together. Some people imagine officials quietly allowing the most extreme stories to spread because those stories made genuine secrets harder to discuss soberly. Others think the chaos was accidental, created by secrecy and public imagination. Either way, the result is brilliant in a troubling way. The real program, whatever it was, becomes protected by laughter. The public hears something unbelievable, smiles, and may never notice the smaller truth hidden underneath. UFO sightings near test ranges may reveal secrets without revealing aliens. The most grounded explanation can still be thrilling. A witness sees a strange object near a classified range. It moves oddly. It glows in an unfamiliar way. It does not match known aircraft. The sighting may be real, but the source may be human technology still hidden from public view. That possibility gives UFO reports a different kind of value. They may not always point upward to other worlds. Sometimes they may point sideways into closed military programs. This is especially important around places like Groom Lake, because history shows that secret aircraft did fly before people knew their names. The challenge is sorting one unknown from another. A test vehicle, a drone, a balloon, a missile trial, or an atmospheric effect can all enter the same conversation. The mystery remains because a sighting can be accurate without the interpretation being correct. Something was seen, but the meaning stays out of reach. Military secrecy and extraterrestrial mystery became impossible to untangle. At Area 51, two great stories overlap so completely that separating them can feel impossible. One story is about national defense, classified aircraft, restricted ranges, and guarded technology. The other is about visitors from beyond Earth, recovered craft, and knowledge hidden from humanity. Each story feeds the other. Real secrecy makes extraordinary claims seem more believable. Extraordinary claims make real secrecy harder to examine clearly. This tangle is why the base remains such a powerful symbol. A person can approach it from aviation history and end up discussing aliens. Another can begin with UFO lore and discover genuine Cold War programs. The boundary between fact and speculation becomes less like a wall and more like a knot. Pull one thread, and several others tighten. That knot may be the true genius of the legend. It keeps the mystery alive because every explanation seems to leave a residue that the next theory can claim. Official explanations often arrive too late to calm the imagination. Timing matters in a mystery. When people wait years for an answer, they do not remain empty while they wait. They build theories. They compare stories. They create emotional attachments to possible truths. By the time an official explanation appears, it may be factual, but it must compete with a living mythology. Area 51 shows this perfectly. Delayed explanations for classified aircraft or restricted activity may clarify certain details, yet they cannot undo the decades when people were left to wonder. In that long silence, imagination becomes part of the historical record. It shapes what people expect and what they are willing to believe. Some may accept the explanation. Others may see it as partial, strategic, or carefully worded. The delay itself becomes suspicious. Why speak now? Why not earlier? What else is still missing? In this way, even truth can arrive too late to feel complete. Redacted documents made every blank space feel deliberately meaningful. A page with missing words can be more provocative than a page with a full answer. The blacked-out sections tell the reader that something exists, but not what it says. That is an invitation to imagine. Around Area 51, redactions carry special force because they match the larger pattern of hidden activity. A document may confirm a program, then conceal the details that would satisfy curiosity. Names vanish. Locations disappear. Capabilities are removed. The result feels like a conversation interrupted at the exact moment it became important. Some redactions may protect routine technical information. Others may hide sensitive sources or methods. Still, for the public, every blank rectangle becomes a kind of symbol. It says the story has been opened, but only slightly. It also proves that secrecy is not only fences and guards. It is language with pieces removed, leaving the mind to press against the empty spaces. Declassified files answered some questions while creating better ones. When secret records finally become public, people often expect closure. Instead, they may discover a more complicated mystery. A file can reveal that an aircraft existed, that a program operated, or that officials discussed something behind closed doors. But it can also expose new names, strange references, unexplained timelines, and missing attachments. This is why declassification is so addictive for researchers and mystery lovers. Each answer becomes a doorway. Area 51 benefits from this effect because its documented history is already impressive. Once people learn what was actually hidden there, they naturally wonder about the material that remains beyond reach. The files do not simply shrink the legend. They refine it. They prove that secrecy was real, which makes remaining unknowns harder to dismiss. A revealed project may explain some sightings, while also raising a sharper question. If that was hidden then, what is hidden now? The CIA acknowledgement confirmed the place without explaining its mythology. The public recognition of Groom Lake as a real site mattered because it shifted the conversation. For years, people had spoken about a place that officials treated with careful restraint. Once acknowledgement arrived, the old debate about whether the base existed became less important. The deeper mystery remained untouched. What did the site become after its known programs? What work continued under other names? How much of the folklore had grown around real operations that were never described? The acknowledgement was important, but it was not a master key. It opened one door and revealed a hallway of others. That is why the mythology survived. Confirming a location does not explain why it captured the world's imagination. It does not account for every sighting, every rumor, or every silence. The official record placed a foundation under the legend, but the upper floors remained dark. People finally had confirmation, yet not completion. Area 51 became public knowledge without becoming truly transparent. Some secrets do not disappear when everyone knows their name. This space is the perfect example. It is famous across the world, yet fame has not made it understandable. People can say the name casually. They can find images, visit nearby towns, buy souvenirs, and discuss theories for hours. Still, the actual work inside the protected area remained shielded. That contrast is rare. Area 51 is both exposed and hidden. Its image belongs to popular culture, while its operations belong to classified systems. This makes it feel almost untouchable. Public attention surrounds it like a bright ring, but the center stays dim. The result is a modern paradox. A secret can become a celebrity and remain a secret. That may be why the story feels so current, even after decades. We live in an age of constant visibility, yet this famous place still refuses to explain itself. Its budget trails vanish into names that ordinary citizens never see. Money is one of the most revealing forces in any hidden program, but classified funding rarely presents itself in a simple way. Projects can be buried inside broad categories, protected lines, or contractor arrangements that reveal almost nothing to the public. Around Area 51, that creates a financial mystery as interesting as any strange light in the sky. Advanced aircraft, secure facilities, specialized materials, and expert teams require immense resources. Those resources must come from somewhere. Yet the trail can dissolve before an ordinary person understands what is being bought. This is where secrecy becomes structural. It is not just a locked gate. It is a system of budgets, approvals, and labels that allow work to proceed without open explanation. Some people see this as necessary protection. Others see it as a shadow economy of hidden technology. Either way, the money hints at scale, and scale hints at secrets worth funding. Black programs hide behind language designed to sound completely forgettable. The names attached to classified work are often less dramatic than the public imagines. That may be the point. A plain phrase can move through paperwork without attracting curiosity. A dull acronym can hide an extraordinary machine. A generic office title can conceal a team working at the edge of known engineering. This kind of language is powerful because it makes secrets sound boring. Area 51 thrives inside that contrast. The public imagines alien vaults and impossible aircraft, while the real files may use words that seem lifeless on purpose. Some people believe this dullness is one of the best hiding places in government. A sensational name invites questions. A forgettable one slips past the eye. This changes how we think about hidden technology. The most astonishing project on Earth might not have a name that sounds exciting. It might be buried under wording so bland that almost nobody pauses to notice it. Contractors may know fragments while no one sees the whole machine. Modern secrets are often built by many hands. A private company might design one component. Another might test a sensor. A separate group might manage materials, software, or support equipment. Each team sees a piece, but not necessarily the final picture. This is a powerful way to protect classified work. It also creates a fascinating human puzzle. Many people could contribute to a hidden program without knowing exactly what they helped create. Around Area 51, contractor involvement adds depth to the mystery because it spreads secrecy beyond the base itself. The truth may not live in one room or one archive. It may be scattered across companies, contracts, secure labs, and restricted conversations. That makes the whole system harder to understand from outside. It also raises a strange possibility. Even someone with genuine access might only know a fragment. The complete machine may exist only at the very top. Compartmentalization could make even insiders strangers to the real project. A secret can be protected by dividing it. Give each person only what they need to know, and the full story becomes difficult to leak because almost nobody possesses it. This method is practical, but it also gives Area 51 a haunting quality. Imagine working near history and never knowing it. Imagine maintaining equipment, analyzing data, or guarding a door without understanding what the larger effort truly means. In such a system, insider testimony becomes complicated. A worker may tell the truth and still be wrong about the whole picture. Another may deny extraordinary claims because nothing extraordinary crossed their compartment. Both accounts can be sincere. This is why the base resists simple explanation. The mystery may not be held by one dramatic witness. It may be distributed through carefully separated fragments. The closer someone gets, the more they may discover that closeness is not the same as understanding. Some employees may have guarded mysteries they never personally understood. Security work can place a person beside a secret without handing them the secret itself. A guard may protect a road, a building, a schedule, or a shipment because the rules demand it. That does not mean they know what lies at the center of the system. This idea gives the Area 51 story an almost tragic edge. The people enforcing the boundary may be outsiders in their own way. They stand between the public and the unknown, yet the unknown may be kept from them as well. For visitors, the presence of security feels like proof that something important is hidden. For the guards, it may simply be a job with strict procedures and little explanation. That tension is compelling. It reminds us that secrecy creates layers of ignorance, not only outside the fence, but inside it too. A person can hold the line and still never see what the line protects. The base may contain nothing alien and still remain astonishing. This possibility deserves attention because it does not weaken the mystery. It may actually make it more impressive. Even without extraterrestrial craft, Area 51 represents a hidden history of human ambition. People built machines in secret, solved problems the public did not know existed, and tested ideas that reshaped military aviation. That alone is extraordinary. The alien question adds wonder, but it is not the only source of awe. A place can be mysterious because it shows how far human beings will go when fear, competition, and invention combine. The base may hold prototypes, failures, tools, archives, and stories that would still amaze the world if revealed. Some people want the answer to be otherworldly. Others find the human version more chilling because it means the future can be built behind closed doors by people we never meet. Either way, the desert keeps its power. The secret does not need aliens to matter. Its greatest secret could be how advanced human engineering really became. The most unsettling answer may be that people did it themselves. Not visitors, not recovered craft, not impossible materials from elsewhere. Just human minds working with extraordinary resources under pressure that most of us never see. This idea is both grounding and mind-bending. It suggests that public technology may be only the visible edge of a much larger blade. Behind classified walls, engineers may have tested propulsion, materials, sensors, and control systems years before similar concepts entered public conversation. Area 51 becomes a symbol of the hidden pace of invention. The world outside moves forward one announcement at a time. The world inside may move through prototypes that are never named. Some people prefer alien explanations because they make the leap easier to understand. Human genius is more complicated. It means our species may already be stranger, bolder, and more secretive than we like to admit. The desert may protect failures as carefully as successful breakthroughs. Not every secret program becomes a legend because it worked. Some are hidden because they failed expensively, dangerously, or embarrassingly. That possibility adds a more realistic layer to the Area 51 story. The base may have sheltered brilliant achievements, but it may also have buried ideas that never reached the public stage. Failed aircraft, unstable concepts, flawed materials, and abandoned designs can be just as sensitive as triumphs. They reveal what was attempted. They expose the limits of a program. They may show how close engineers came to something remarkable before the effort stopped. This is a different kind of hidden history. It is not about a perfect craft in a spotless hangar. It is about trial, error, and wreckage that teaches lessons no one outside is allowed to read. The desert becomes an archive of roads not taken. Some of its greatest secrets may be the machines that never flew correctly. Crashed prototypes could explain legends of wreckage and retrieval teams. When experimental machines are tested in remote places, accidents can happen. If the aircraft is classified, the response will be fast, careful, and difficult for outsiders to interpret. A recovery team arriving under tight security might look like something far stranger than a conventional cleanup. Covered debris, restricted roads, and silent officials can feed stories of exotic material or non-human craft. This explanation is practical, yet it still carries mystery. What kind of prototype went down? What was it designed to do? Why did it need such protection? Around Area 51, a crash does not have to involve aliens to become legendary. A failed secret aircraft could be important enough to hide every fragment. At the same time, believers ask whether this ordinary explanation has sometimes been used to dismiss extraordinary recoveries. The uncertainty is powerful because wreckage is physical. Something broke, something was taken away, and the public was left outside the perimeter. Every denied rumor made the next rumor easier to believe. Denial is not always the end of the story. Sometimes it becomes part of the engine that keeps the story alive. Around Area 51, official refusal or careful wording often created a reaction opposite to what was intended. People wondered why the response felt narrow. They searched for what had not been said. They treated restraint as a sign that something deeper was being protected. This pattern can become self-reinforcing. A rumor appears. It is dismissed. The dismissal feels incomplete. A new rumor grows from the gap. Over time, the public learns to listen not only to statements, but to omissions. This is dangerous territory because suspicion can feed on itself. Not every denial hides a truth. Yet in a place with a proven history of secrecy, people find it hard to accept simple closure. The base trained its audience to distrust the final word, because the final word kept arriving unfinished. Area 51 shows how secrecy transforms geography into legend. A remote dry lakebed became more than coordinates because access was controlled and answers were limited. That transformation is the heart of the mystery. The physical place matters, but the story around it matters just as much. Without secrecy, it might be known mainly to aviation historians. With secrecy, it became a global symbol for hidden knowledge. The land absorbed meaning from patrols, signs, rumors, flights, documents, and popular imagination. Hills became lookout points. Roads became approaches to the forbidden. Empty distances became part of the drama. This is how geography turns mythic in the modern world. The process does not require ancient ruins or sacred temples. It can happen around a military installation if enough questions remain unanswered. Area 51 teaches us that mystery can change the way a landscape is seen. The desert did not move, but the human mind built an invisible city of speculation above it. The mystery survives because each answer leaves another door closed. Area 51 has never been a simple riddle with one final solution. Every answer seems to reveal a new boundary. We learn that secret aircraft were tested there, then wonder what replaced them. We learn that the base existed, then wonder what was left out of the acknowledgement. We learn that some sightings may have had human explanations, then ask about the sightings that still do not fit. This is why the story keeps renewing itself. It does not depend on one claim or one witness. It is a chain of partially opened rooms. The listener steps through one and finds another locked door ahead. That structure makes the mystery unusually durable. A complete answer would end the journey, but Area 51 rarely gives complete answers. It gives fragments, hints, and late confirmations. For people drawn to the unknown, that is enough. The closed door is not a failure. It is the invitation. Groom. Lake remains a place where imagination patrols the fence line. In the end, the base is guarded by more than security. It is guarded by the stories people bring to it. A visitor can stand miles away and still feel close to something hidden. A researcher can study images and documents and still face unanswered questions. A believer can see the desert as a vault. A skeptic can see a classified test site that became wildly misunderstood. All of those views now circle the same fence. That is the strange achievement of Area 51. It holds military history, pop culture, suspicion, humor, and cosmic possibility in one stubborn symbol. The truth may be simpler than the legends. It may also be more surprising than any rumor has managed to guess. For now, Groom Lake remains partly visible and partly withheld. The buildings stand under the open sky, yet the meaning behind them stays protected. And so the imagination keeps watch, long after the road grows dark. And so, we leave Area 51 where it has always seemed to belong. Behind the fence, beyond the road, half visible in the desert and half hidden inside the questions it has created. Tonight, we followed the story from an empty lakebed to one of the most famous secrets in the world. We wandered past guarded boundaries, strange aircraft, coded names, satellite images, black programs, late-night rumors, roadside legends, and the deep possibility that the truth may be stranger than any single explanation. Perhaps the base is a monument to human engineering. Perhaps it is a vault for secrets we are not ready to understand. Or perhaps its real power comes from the way it makes us look at the sky differently. Some mysteries fade when they are studied. This one seems to grow more interesting with every answer. Each opened file leaves another blank space. Each official statement leaves another shadow at the edge. And somewhere out there, under the wide Nevada night, Groom Lake remains still, silent, and waiting. If you enjoyed this curious journey, I invite you to like, subscribe, or leave a thought below. It helps others find their way here too. And if you happen to still be awake, there will be another mystery waiting for you on the screen. But for now, let the desert road fall away. Let the signs fade into the distance. Let the last aircraft light drift across the dark until it becomes only a soft point in memory. Your shoulders can loosen now. Your breathing can slow. The questions can remain unanswered for tonight. There is nothing more you need to solve. There is nowhere else you need to go. Just rest here, at the edge of the unknown, and let the night do the rest. Sleep well, and good night.